Well, it says I'm live, so I must believe that. Thanks for tuning in. This is Paul, your genius alignment expert. Looking forward to talking with you today about alignment as it relates to your kiddos. Actually, bigger picture, aligning yourself with options. Do you have options? Do you have options? And can you exercise them? The book we're talking about today is The Parent Revolution. The subheading is Rescuing Your Kids from the Radicals Ruining Our Schools. It was a 2024 publication, a forceful advocacy-driven book about parental rights, school choice, and shifting educational decision-making power back towards families, hopefully. It's all about having choices, and we as parents feel like we should have a choice in terms of where our kiddos are educated and what they're educated in, where and what they're being educated. The author, DeAngelis, makes a really strong point, and I'll get to this a little bit later, but it's all about parent revolution, taking charge of your kids' education and given the choices that you have, maybe even to the point where the revolution gives additional choices, which is happening in some states around the country. The COVID-19 era awakened many parents to what was happening inside schools, accelerated demand for greater educational choice, transparency, accountability, and parent involvement. The overarching statement that DeAngelis comes up with is that parents should have the freedom, authority, and resources to choose the educational environment that best serves their individual child. We'll talk about this in just a second, but a one-size-fits-all does not fit anybody. If something is made for everybody, it's made for nobody. So a couple of points that I'll make here, and then we'll just proceed. Number one, parents must take ownership. Parents and their children are the primary stakeholders in the education of their children. They should remain informed, involved, and willing to advocate for what their children need rather than simply accepting whatever the system provides. It gets us to the point we were talking about this on our mastermind this morning. Who's responsible for your kids' education? Some people would say the government is. Some people will say the state. Some people say the institution. Some people say the union. The truth of the matter is that the parents are the ones responsible for their children's education. As you know, I was in real estate for many years, actually 29 years now this year. And one of the things that was always an issue for people with children was schools. If you want to go to a public school, public school doesn't matter, then where you live doesn't matter. But schools are a really big deal. And in fact, in our town, we have a lot of schools, high schools, and then the feeder schools, the middle schools, and then the grade schools. Grade schools feed the middle schools feed the high schools. Every high school basically has its own little town, if you look at it that way. Some of the other towns in our state have one high school, and so it's that town's focus, especially during football season or basketball season or soccer season, whatever season that particular township gets revolved around. But getting back to this, parents are the primary stakeholders in children's education. They should remain informed, involved, and willing to advocate for what their children need. There's, in our state, also now a charter school system, which I think has really upped the educational output of our state. Good news. Number two on points, one size does not fit all. Every child is different. Every child is different. They all have their own demands, their own needs, their own why that they've got going on. A traditional public school may work wonderfully for one child while another may thrive in a charter school, private school, homeschool, microschool, vocational program, or alternate environment. I remember my older son was in fifth grade, and we were having a parent-teacher conference, the particular education years ago, back in the 70s, I guess, 80s, that early 80s in Hawaii, and we were in the K6, and then junior high, 7, 8, 9, and then high school. But her fifth grade teacher and his mother and I were in conference with her, the teacher, Jerry. Just what a sweet teacher, powerful teacher. And she said, your child needs to be in private school because he's really smart. And I said, really? She said, yeah, I think he needs to be in private school. I said, just a little aside, when he was in her class, fifth grade, he took off educationally. And he's gone on to do some really incredible stuff, including graduating in the 20s, at 23, 4, 5, or 6 from there, from West Point in his class of 1994, and then gone on to become a physician. And anyway, but his education bloomed when he was in her class. And I told her, I said, if he were in private school, Jerry, he wouldn't have had you. She smiled and said, thank you. Because it's not about private school or public school. It's about the teacher that's in your child's life. And some teachers are really incredible. Some teachers are not so much. So regardless of where you are, charter school, private school, homeschool, microschool, vocational school, or alternative environment, what's really important is that teacher-child and parent-teacher-child involvement. So one size does not fit all, period. Doesn't. So if you've ever gotten a shirt or a pair of pants that one size fits all, you know what I'm talking about. If something fits everybody, it doesn't fit anybody. So point number 1, parents must take ownership. Yes, it's your child. It's your responsibility. Number 2, one size does not fit all, as we found. Number 3, choice creates alternative. DeAngelis says that families need to have a meaningful alternative. Educational institutions must now become more responsive. She argues that competition encourages schools to improve performance, listen to parents, and earn the continued trust. What a concept. Number 4, funding should follow the student rather than automatically funding institutions. DeAngelis supports policies that would allow educational resources to follow a child through mechanisms such as educational savings accounts and school choice programs, the voucher system. And number 5, parents can become a powerful force. They need to unite. When they become informed, that when they organize, when they speak up, when they vote, when they participate in educational decisions, they become a powerful voting bloc. They become a force for good. The parent revolution is ultimately about moving parents past passive observers and into active decision makers. Number 1, parents must take ownership. Number 2, one size does not fit all. Number 3, choice creates accountability. Number 4, funding should follow the student. And number 5, parents can become a powerful force. A summary. This book, The Parent Revolution, is fundamentally a book about choice, responsibility, and empowerment. It is focused on education. DeAngelis believes education works best when parents, not bureaucracies or institutions, have greatest influence over where and how a child is educated. Where and how. The broader lesson of this is that when people recognize that they have choices, they stop simply accepting circumstances and begin to take responsibility to create better outcomes. It's an incredible subtitle, Rescuing Your Children from Radicals Ruining Our Schools. It's a 2024 book. And a longer summary of this I actually did. There's a couple of other things I just wanted to highlight for you. Number one, parents should have the strongest voice in their children's education. Yes. Number two, COVID-era schooling dramatically increased parental awareness and involvement. Number three, educational funding should increasingly follow students rather than institutions. Number four, competition can force schools to become more responsive and accountable, including the teachers' union, the teachers themselves. Number five, different children need different educational environments. Yes, they do. If you've got more than one child, you know that's so true. They all learn differently. Number six, parents become powerful when they're organized rather than complain. Number seven, the ultimate issue is not simply public versus private education. It is who gets to decide. Who has the final responsibility for a child's education? We're still talking about education here, but the bigger picture, who's responsible? The bureaucracy, the school, the union, the government, the education, the educator, or the parent? The obvious answer is the parent. Parent should be responsible, is responsible. Most parents abrogate that responsibility, though, to the government and the school system. The broader principle behind this book is that people become engaged when they take back ownership of a situation. When somebody feels trapped inside the system, they become passive. When they realize they have choices, they have agency, they have responsibility, they can choose a better path, then everything changes. That's true in education. That's true in careers. That's true in leadership. That is true in life. And the most powerful transformation often begins when somebody stops asking, what am I supposed to accept? And instead starts yelling, what choice am I willing to make? The Parent Revolution is about choices. It is an incredibly powerful, timely book about way more than just education. It's about life. It's about your career. It's about your family. It's about doing what's right. I'm glad you tuned in today. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you get the bigger picture. You have choices. You do have choices. And if you'd like to talk more about that, if you have a choice in your path, if you're feeling a little frustrated at what you're doing, if you don't even know why you're doing it, why God put you on this green earth, then we need to talk. My name is Paul Wilson. I'm at paulwilsondelivers.com, or you can call me 505-706-2868, 505-706-2868. Or you can email me at paul@wilsonabq.com. Look forward to talking to you in the near future. And you can check in with me just to saying your life is good. I'd be happy to hear that. Only about 30% of the workforce in the United States is engaged. That means people are engaged. They're happy at work. That means 69 to 70% of people are not working. They're not happy. They're not engaged. They just want to, in some cases, quit on the job, doing as much as they have to do, what they need to do to avoid being fired. So that's not necessarily you, but if you'd like to be more engaged with your life, I'd be happy to talk with you. That's what I do. And God bless you. God bless America. And we'll hopefully talk to you in the near future. God bless. Bye.